Hi, welcome to the coaching game. I am Laurie Lawson, and tonight you might notice I don't have a guest. Through a series of very strange occurrences, first my guest had to cancel, then I had to cancel on her, so we never really got around to taping a show. But I figured, why should we let that hamper us having a show? So I wanted to share with you tonight some things that I have been contemplating, some things that I have been studying, some things that I use to help me get through my day. And there's a lot of them, believe me. And I have this lovely leather booklet into which I write things that I feel are profound. And I'm going to share some of those with you tonight. But first, I'm going to tell you sort of about my morning ritual. There is a marvelous guy called Hal Elrod, and he wrote a book called The 60-Minute Miracle. And the concept behind that is if you do this every morning, you're going to see miracles. And I am on day 829 now. And so that means I've been doing it for quite a while. I do take a break on weekends, but nonetheless, I'm on day 829. And what he's saying is that when you devote 10 minutes to each of these activities, and I'll go over them with you, it's a great way to start your day. Now, in honesty, I have cut it down to 5 days. I'm sorry, 5 minutes. And so I can get most of this done in half an hour to 40 minutes. But it's based on 6 different elements, and an acronym for it is SAVER. So the first one is silence, which is hard, very hard for me. I suspect you're supposed to be meditating. And anybody who watches this show knows that's just not going to happen with me. I try, but it doesn't happen. So what I use that to do is a couple prayers, a couple of awarenesses for the day, and 5 minutes of that. The second is affirmations. And I came across, thank you, Cheryl Richardson, who is a fantastic coach that's been out there for a long time, Mala beads, Mala. And they are 108 beads. And what you do, it's kind of like rosary beads. You use them, each one, you say an affirmation, the same affirmation. And for some reason, I'm sure someone told me somewhere, I do it the same affirmation for 21 days and then I switch up. So my second 5 minutes is spent with affirmations. The third is spent with visualizations. And anyone who is in the coaching world or in any kind of, and that includes sports coaching or any kind of coaching, knows that visualization is just a step to get you right where you want to be. So I spend 5 minutes visualizing. I also do a little chakra breathing, which is the 7 chakras, and they are all color coded, so to speak. Colors are associated with each one. So I include that in my visualizations. Then we're into E, exercise. 5 minutes doesn't seem like a lot, and it isn't. But what I've been doing physical therapy since back surgery, and wow, 20 years, 30 years ago. And I do that every morning. So there's my 5 minutes of that. The, well, what are we on? 6, 5. But the fifth one is reading, the R, and that's where I get all my cool quotes from, or sometimes I come up with my own, and not a lot, but sometimes. And so it's a great way to pick a book that you've been wanting to read and never have the time, and take 5 or 10 minutes every morning to read a chapter or a couple of paragraphs. And I'm amazed at the amount of books I've been able to read that way, piece by piece by piece, but at least you're getting it done. And the last one is scribing. And I'm sure he had it's really writing, but I'm sure he was very clever. He wanted to come up with something that would go along with savers. So it was the last one, scribing. And I write in a journal. And in addition to this lovely leather covered booklet, I also write in a journal. There's not a lot, just something, plans for the day, things that stuck with me from yesterday, good things, bad things, things I'm working on. And so you take it all together, and there you go. You've got a great morning ritual. I would highly recommend that you look this book up. It's called The Morning Miracle, and his name is Hal Elrod, Elrod. So from that, I have started writing. I won't I won't bore you with my journals because sometimes they bore me. But things that I feel that are profound, I started writing them down, and they've sort of stuck with me. And I was wondering, and it's funny, I was thinking about this morning before all the cancellations occurred. It's like, when am I ever going to review all this? These are I have so many, I'm sure I have wisdom in here that I've forgotten about, because when I wrote it down, it was like, oh, this is so important. But now it's, life goes on. So I said, well, you know what, maybe this is a great time to just share a little bit, with you, and also to review for me. So that's what I'm going to do. A couple of things that one thing that I wrote down was, and I thought it was very profound. My future is not the solution to my present. And I felt that was profound, and I'm going to use that word. I hope that's the last time I use that word. I'm going to find another word to use. I felt that was so impactful, that because it's like, how many times do we say, oh, if I can, once I lose that 10 pounds, I am going to go down and see all my old girlfriends from high school. Or once I make that extra $1,000, I am going on a vacation. And that is not, that has, sure, that'll be great, and maybe you will, maybe you won't. But right now, the present is what you have, and the present is what you can do with it. It's up to you what you do with the present. So I wanted to keep that in mind, that the future is not the solution to my present. And a couple of other things, is that, okay, it would be nice if we stayed on the path. It would be nice if our plans all turned out. But I have a little magnet on my refrigerator that says, man plans, God laughs. And I think if we haven't discovered that in the last year and a half, there are no plans. There are plans, but they are not set in gold and as stone or blood or anything that's permanent. There are plans, and learn to stretch them, squeeze them, or toss them, whatever the case may be. So that's the one thing. But one thing I wrote down is, I embrace the uncertainty. It's like, oh, how could you do that? Don't you want to know what's going to happen? Sure, I do. But it's like the uncertainty still gives you a little wiggle room. It's like, okay, I'm not sure what's going to happen here. Here's what I would like to happen. But you know what? If this happens, then I can do that. And it's like, uncertainty can bring about such fantastic opportunities. I think, as we all have seen this year, who thought that we would be hunkering down? Who thought that we wouldn't be seeing family? Who thought that vacation plans were a thing of the past? The restaurants would close, the theater would go away, that movies weren't being made. None of us thought of that. But the uncertainty, it's like, okay, what can you do with that now? It's like, that's the reality. The uncertainty is that we don't know what's happening. So what adaptations or changes or extenders, like when you put an extender on your belt, you need it to flex a little. What extenders can we put in our plans right now that will get us through the uncertain times? Embrace it, because probably, I know for me, some of my best ideas have come out of times when it was like, I don't know. I have no idea what's coming next. Don't even know what to do next. And so then your mind starts going around and around and going, well, I could do this and I could do that. And so embrace that. It's really a great time to just sort of, oh, I don't know, take a chance, sit back and reflect. Whatever that you hadn't planned on doing, do it. do it and see what happens, because it's a great opportunity to do that. So I felt that was like, wow, that's something I could really do. Um, and like I said, occasionally I come up with my own quotes. They're not, they might be noteworthy, but I noted them and I feel they're worthy. So I'm going to share. One was, enjoy what you can and learn from the rest. And I think that, I'm going to tell you a little bit in a few minutes about a book that I read about happiness now. um, but that was kind of, even before I read that book, it was like, okay, how can, my favorite motto is, or my tagline is, one of my taglines, I have two. One is, life is a journey. Life is not a destination, it's a journey. Enjoy it. And the other is, wherever you go, bring your own sunshine, because who's guaranteeing that there's gonna be sunshine? So make the most of it. Be as happy as you can. Find reasons to be happy. And if you really can, if it's like, oh, this really sucks, then learn from it. What can you learn from it? It's like, okay, it might be, how can I not put myself in this situation again? Or how can I how can I make this better right this minute? Or what can I do in the future to make sure that I'm prepared for this? Whatever comes your way, it's like, or how can I just embrace? It's okay to embrace feelings that aren't happy. It's like, we're all there. We've all been there. So embrace that, and uh, just go with what you learn, with what you can. And it's all a big learning experience. Another quote. This is not mine. This is not. Well, you know what? No, I'll do one of mine again first. And whatever you do, make it an adventure. It's like, do you have to go to the doctor? Okay, you know, who likes doing that? Hardly anybody. So make it an adventure. Who's on the bus with you? How fast can, well, I don't want to say how fast can your car go. I don't want you to speed on down the highway, but what music can you listen to on the way? Oh, the waiting room. Make up stories about the people that are sitting there waiting with you, you know, outrageous, crazy stories. Make them up and just have a little fun with that. Just whatever you're doing, make it an adventure. Right outside, no, right in before you go out my door, someone, a dear friend, gave me a little square glass thing, and in the middle it says adventure. And I put that right by the door to remember, okay, you're headed for an adventure wherever you're going. And if you go on a trip, rather than worry about, oh, traffic, or am I going to have enough, where should I stop for gas? It's like, make that an adventure. It's like, wow, you're going to a whole new place. What can I learn? What can I see? What games can I play with myself? So that's another one. It's one of mine. I like that. So just make it an adventure. Another one that, this is not mine, and I don't know whose it is, but it's plan for victory, learn from defeat, which is kind of what I was saying. If it succeeds, you can celebrate. If it fails, you can recalculate. So it's like nothing's infinite. It's just like, oh, I failed. That's it. No more. Can't try again. This is not working. Why bother trying? There's always something that you can get out of that experience. I know the 409 story. I love that solution for cleaning everything. And it was named 409 because it was the 409th try that the inventor did. And finally, he got it the way he wanted it. So um, when you're thinking, oh gosh, what, you know, this is just not going to work, think of 409. It's like he didn't give up, and you shouldn't either. So, and you know, celebrate, and definitely don't forget to celebrate if indeed you have a great victory. You earned it, and why not celebrate and bring people in and celebrate with them? But if it's what you consider a defeat, and in the coaching world there are no defeats, only opportunities to learn. But then go ahead and celebrate that, and because it's an opportunity to, as this quote says, recalculate. And I promised to tell you about another book that I read that I was really impressed with, and it's Happiness Now by Robert Holden, Holden. And so there's a lot of quotes about happiness, and they came in handy. They came in so handy last year. A couple are, my happiness has already been delivered. It's within me. Just open it up. It's like, rather than wait, it's like, oh, again, with the if I could only, if only, when, and as soon as this happens, it's going to be, it's there now. What the feelings that you're going to have from whatever that thing is that you're waiting for, they're within you right now. So go ahead and have them. You can have them again. There's no limit on feelings. So that was one. And it's another one that, and this is all from the Happiness Now book, is unhappiness is a symptom of forgetfulness, and joy is a symptom of remembering who we really are and what we really have. So when you feel yourself saying, oh gosh, it's like, could this day get any worse? It's because you've forgotten all the things that you already have. And joy will be if you remember them and bring them home and take them to heart and go, you know what? Yeah, this, my guest didn't show up today and I had to cancel and she had to cancel. But you know what? It's an opportunity for me, and I hope for you, but it's an opportunity for me to review all the quotes that I wrote down that I wanted to remember and I really want to incorporate into my life, and it's an opportunity for me to share with you. So there's always something that you can extend. And that's one. It's it's happiness. Another quote: happiness doesn't come and go. What comes and goes is your attunement to happiness. It's like happiness is there. It's right here. Um, but what fleets and then comes back and then goes away is that you're not attuned to it. You're not, and you're not aware of it, and you're not really um, conscious. You're not aware that it's right here. You have the button. You have the happiness button. All you have to do is push it. That's one of my quotes that I just made up. I don't know if it's worthy. We'll see later. I'll contemplate on that. Um, it's a challenge to make peace within ourselves. It's like, we know, who doesn't know how it feels. Think of the happiest moment, some of the happiest moments you had in your life so far. And we know we have that ability to make that all come back. It's just, we have to be aware of it. We have to want it. We have to say, you know what, I'm going to choose happiness over not happy and being sad and being depressed and being pessimistic. It's almost like a choice. And it's one that you can easily make and one that you can easily adjust to. If you're happy within yourself, if you're not happy within yourself, you're not going to be happy with anything that you do. If you are ultimately just pessimistic and you can't see any hope for the future, and you're delving into dark things, then you can go skiing. You can go to the theater. You can go on a picnic. But what is that old saying? Wherever you go, there you are. That's kind of the same thing. If you whatever it's not a matter of doing. It's not a matter of getting or acquiring. It's not a matter of status. It's just not a matter of all the things that I think we were told in our younger years, that, oh, just do this and, get that college degree, climb that corporate ladder, make that certain amount of money, have 2.8 children, 2.8% children, and white picket fence, and you got it made. Not if you're bringing along your gloomy self. You can have all that and still not be happy, or you can have none of that and still be happy. So it's kind of like a choice that you get to make, and that's really empowering. Once you think, it's frightening, absolutely frightening, but it's also empowering when you think about it. It's like, wow, happiness is within my hands. I can sway this either way. So the old saying is, it takes just as much energy to frown as it does to smile. So why not smile? And hopefully it'll get you in a better mood. Let's see what else. It's There's so many happiness things. One quote was that I liked. It was like, you enjoy as much happiness as you believe you are worthy of. You suffer as much pain as you believe you are worthy of. So as a child, I had kind of chaotic childhood. And I thought, okay, I'll take the chaotic childhood. I pay my dues, I pay my dues and that's it. And now happiness belongs to me. I don't have to worry about it. Well, that's not how it works. I built some muscles. I built some great muscles and some great coping skills. And I don't think I would give up any of it because it really gave me such a broad picture of the world. But it doesn't mean that you you have a quota. You have a quota, and you don't have a quota for life adventures, life happenings that are not ideal. But you also don't have a quota for exuberance and joy and all of the things that are really going to put that smile on your face. There's no quota. You can have as much as you feel you're worthy of. And I remember my sister and I used to fight, and she would go, "You're just jealous of me because I'm selfish." I go, "That's the stupidest thing I ever heard." And later I said, "You know what? I am jealous of her because she's selfish." In the sense that she knew what she wanted, she asked for it, she would kill you to get it. And she was dead set determined she was going to get what she wanted. And it was like, that was something I would hold back and go, "Oh, I'll wait. But she was right in the sense that it was like, yeah, if you feel that you're worthy of all this, then go for it. Go for it. Why not? And in your the bigger the glass you bring, the more liquid you get, or the more beverage or whatever it is you're putting in your glass. So, why not fill it up? Fill it up to the top and keep going. Let's see. There was a conflict between the ego and the spirit. The ego and the spirit have two different viewpoints. The ego says, "Look out, look out, look out. Don't let that happen. Don't let somebody hurt you. Don't be disrespected. Don't get off the path because it could result in bad things." And the spirit says, look within and see, take an assessment. And that's kind of what I do with the Miracle Morning every day. Is take an assessment and see what you have. What can you do with it? How can you improve it? How can you share it? How can you give it to others? So that ego and spirit, it's like they coexist side by side and probably need one another. But there's a big difference. So when you're hearing yourself go, "Look out, be careful, don't let that happen," that's your ego. And when you go, let me look within for a few minutes and see, or let me reassess this and see just how much this is and what I can do with it, that's your spirit. And my thought would be, nurture your spirit whenever you can. And I guess this is the essence of this show. Thoughts are never given away. They are shared. What you attribute to others is what you think about yourself. And that was one of my favorite coaching exercises when I was in training. It was an exercise called button pushing. And it's like, oh, when someone's getting on your nerves and they're pushing your button, um, it's never about the other person. And I mean, they could be dancing on your head on the street. It doesn't have anything to do with that. It's you. It's like, what button are they pushing? It's always about you. It's button pushing is just your reaction. It's why you, rather than say, wow, that person is so obnoxious, I'm never going to hang out with them again, or I don't want to walk past them. See what button they're pushing. It's like, what is that? Is that a fear? Is that feeling disrespected? Is it, What is it? What, because it's going to be about you. And eventually, if you can get a hold of that, you're going to be much wiser for the experience. And probably a little happier too, because it was like, okay, I don't have to avoid those kind of people anymore. I've got this under control. So, and another happiness quote is, you don't deserve happiness, you choose it. It's not a matter of earning, and that was what I did as a kid. Or that's what I thought as a child. It was like you earn brownie points, okay, as you can when people have gone use it to joke. When people go, oh, you're definitely going to have a seat in heaven for that, or a place in heaven for that. It's not that you earn it. It's that it's there already. You just have to choose to acknowledge it and go with it, and make that your lifelong philosophy. What else is happiness? Is being spontaneous and available to your spirit. And we talked about spirit. I'm sorry, I have a tendency to drop words at the end. Happiness is being spontaneous and available to your spirit. And we talked about your spirit. Your spirit is what looks within and what really gets to know you. And think about that, because you are the only person who can get that inside look at yourself. So why not go as far as you can, and learn as much as you can and make your life as easy as you can. So to be happy, you have to give up all concepts of happiness. It's like, because you're thinking, okay, like I was thinking happiness is earned, or happiness is something that you get when, or if only, or you need other people to be happy. You have to give all that up. So I'm almost out of time. And I hope that I'm glad that I got to review these. I hope you're glad that I chose to share them with you. And I will have a guest next time. But this was kind of fun to see if indeed I could come up with 28 minutes, and 28 minutes of my learning that I'm more than happy to share. So thank you for joining me on the coaching game. And we will be back next in 2 weeks, and I don't know what the topic will be. Maybe something that we talked about today. So have a good week. Enjoy the new fall season. Bye-bye.